All right, my Greek studying and Greek learning children. The purpose of this video is to help you with your pronunciation. I already gave you a video on the alphabet that talked about how to pronounce the different letters, and this is a follow-up to that. In your textbook, this has to do with lesson 2, and I'm on 2.8 specifically. I gave you a handout about accents that you can read and should read, as well as reading this chapter carefully to understand accents, but my handout might break things down a little bit more simply than Ray Summers. I'm sorry about the glare on the board, but I think you can see these letters. I'm pretty sure you can. And so, as far as accents relate to pronunciation, the textbook and the handout go into some detail about that. But for our purposes for this video, just understand that you put the emphasis on the syllable that has the accent. I gave a couple of examples from page 9, 2.8 in chapter 2 of Summers. So have a look at those examples, of course, but I'm going to use these 4 examples to help, and starting with the top one, which is Lou Ice. We'll talk about this form in a later video when I'm going to talk to you about how to parse verbs, so stay tuned for that. But for the time being, note that the accent is on the first syllable, which is Lou, and then we have the second syllable, which is ice, which means that it is not Lou Ice. It is Lou Ice. Or if we were to say it all together, it would be Lou Ice. Lou Ice. Just notice that the emphasis is on that oo. And whatever accent, there are 3 different Greek accents, the acute, the grave, and the circumflex. But I believe these are all acutes. But whether you're talking about the acute, the grave, or the circumflex, the main thing is to put the emphasis on that syllable. So, Lou Ice. The next word is lombano, and notice these are all words that have been separated out by their syllables. So if they were being used in a sentence, then of course there would be no spaces right here, but the spaces are just to help us work with the syllables. We have lom, bon, amen, but the emphasis is not on this syllable, it's on the second syllable, lombano, lombano, because again we have the accent on the second syllable. From here, I think you can pretty well figure it out. Pharaoh, not Pharaoh, but Pharaoh, Pharaoh. And the last one is thanatos. Remember that that alpha makes a kind of an ah sound, like in father. So thanatos, thanatos, starting with the emphasis on the first syllable. Thanatos, thanatos. And you can go through each of these, and I recommend you do, to work through those. But for now, just to understand, the emphasis is going to be on the syllable that is accented. I'm going to give you a little trick to remember the accent now, because we've got plenty of time in this video for me to do that. And like I said, this accent is called a acute. And the thing about the acute, the way to remember an acute is the acute points up. And sometimes we think of acute as being more intense or even higher. Like think of acute pain means that your pain level has gone way up, and the way this accent goes up shows us that that is an acute. The other accent is the one that points downward like that, and that one is called the grave. And it's kind of easy to remember the grave because the word grave is G-R-A-V-E, and it's the same spelling as grave, and usually graves are down. So think about the grave as pointing downward. Oh, we're going to make a little funky frowny face because the next accent is called the circumflex. And the circumflex looks like an upside down smiley face. And the way to remember the circumflex is that it is neither the acute nor the grave. You can read in your textbook for the significance of those, but the significance of the difference in pronunciation isn't going to serve our purposes enough because we're not trained in that degree of linguistic nitty-gritty, you might say. So for now, the important thing to remember is that your accent is going to be where you put the emphasis on that syllable. Okay, and I will see you for the next video. Let me just put this to a stop. Bye-bye.